we have this aura about ourselves. Some people are salesmen. Some people have so we have another company we have is called My Baby Can Sleep. My wife can get baby sleeping through the night. Like my wife has this incredible gift to coach people to get their baby sleeping through the night. We wrote a #1 best-selling baby sleep book, and she works with thousands of families all over the world. This kind of superpower, right? And what happens is here's the big miss. Okay, the big miss is that everyone has this superpower, and they end up more times than not getting a job that's like kind of pseudo related, right? They have this burning desire in them, this energy inside of them that they want to get out and they need to get out, but they don't quite understand the framework on how to do it or what life could like, right? So what do? They subscribe to what the world wants to sell you, and they say, okay, well, get up, get good grades in college, and then when you turn 18, you're either off to college or the military or whatever, or good grades in high school, whatever. And so we subscribe to just get in the rat race, like Robert Kiyosaki talks, and we just start going in this direction. And it's like what everyone tells you is kind of like the right thing to do and how you're going to find success in life and happiness. And then what happens is that because you have some talent, you get a decent job, right? And then you get promoted a couple times, and then all of a sudden, like, you're making good money, and then a lot of times a family comes along and kids come along and a mortgage come along, and then these golden handcuffs happen to where you're so locked in. You're not 22 anymore, and you can't just flip from A to B without a lot more factors going around and without a lot more consequences surrounding this deal. And so you're in this career. I was in this career, and I was doing some marketing things and things like that were kind of what I like to do, and talking with people and everything. And I was making all the good money and had the house and everything. But it just wasn't, you start to feel this undertone in your life of like, hey, this is like fulfilling my obligations to my family or to whatever, but it's not overly fulfilling to me. And all these things are so cliche, but it's like, if you won the lottery tomorrow, what would you wake up and do the rest of your life? Or, all that kind of stuff. And those questions are really, really, really good questions. We may even chalk those off as dumb, because we don't want to deal with the turmoil that question brings, because at the end of the day, we know we're slaves, and we don't want to be slaves to, our corporation or our employer or whatever. But we get stymied and paralyzed in this. Well, but I can't put all this on the line either. And it's like this 49%, 51% rub of like, I want to leave, but I really can't because, the unknown, and I've got kids, and what am I going to do now? What if it doesn't work? And, the corporate world tricks you into thinking like, oh, well, you got to go in and get promoted. And once you get to this level, you never want to take this step back, never. If you get a manager position, then you want to get a general manager position. And if you get a vice president position, then you never want to leave unless you get the president position, and all these kind of, I don't know, enslaving concepts that keep you in this unhappy place in your world, to where you're kind of doing something you want, but kind of not. And so you're unfulfilled, and you're on some core level unhappy. And, again, it seems cliche, but there does come a time in every man's life where it's like, okay, what am I doing? Right? I'm just a guy on this blue and green ball trying to figure this out like everyone else. And here's what I know is that someday, my time on earth is going to expire. And how do I want that to go on? Am I going to really continue on my whole life being miserable and unfulfilled in what I'm doing or not? And there has to be this decision made of if that's how I'm going to live my life or not. And there's a fine line between internally making that decision and then it playing out, right? So like, I made a decision but it doesn't mean I walked in and quit the next day, right? I mean, there's a transition in an intelligent, wise way that these things plays out. So those are kind of two separate things you can separate out in your mind of like, is this the right thing to do or not? Okay, let's just be honest with ourselves and say yes, quitting my job is the right thing to do. Okay, now the second part is let's figure out what it looks like and how it plays out to do that, and then let's put a plan together to make that happen. For some people that could be a 2-year process. For some people it could be a 2-week process. It could be a 6-month process. It could be whatever. Um, and for me, it was, because I have 9 kids, and the big house and all the trimmings and all the stuff. And I didn't want to. So one of the things that I did, I should say, is that I started my business on the side and grew it and grew it and grew it. And I said, okay, honey, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start the second business, and we're going to grow this thing. And pretty soon, my full-time job is going to become my part-time job. And when that happens, we'll know then that it's time to quit, that we got this thing rolling, that our income's completely replaced, and then it will make the switch super easy. So I chose to do a couple years of hard work, double time, getting this thing up and rocking, um, so that I didn't have to, jump out over this chasm of the unknown and risk all these things and all that kind of stuff to mitigate the transition from, where I was to where I am today. So
Yeah.
I think I
Tell
said
me
a
this,
lot
Brad.
there, but
I'm interested because you mentioned something and I wrote it down. You talked about, it's a very powerful statement: fulfilling obligations, but not fulfilling me. And you talked about the decision. There's a nuance in those though that you mentioned here, and I want you to unpack this, which is it was a family business. You made a decision to build a side business, and you knew where you were going. Talk to me about the family dynamics. When what did y'all have a conversation? Was there like this, hey family, I'm
oh yeah,
I love y'all, but I'm over here. What was that
yeah.
like?
Yeah, I mean, so look, I was very thankful for the family business for sure. And I knew that what I was um, wanted to accomplish with my time in life, my free time, I wanted to own my time. I wanted to own my life, right? That was the ultimate goal. I wanted to report to me. I wanted to own my time, and I had to bet on me, right? There comes a point to where you have to place a bet on yourself. And so I knew that as I sat down and I drew out my life. Okay, so let's back up a step, right? Lifestyle design, right? So take out a sheet of paper and go, hey, what do you want your life to look like, right? Do you want to wake up and, have coffee and, have family worship time and read scripture with your children in the morning, head off to the office about 9:30 at your leisure, you know, go to the office, go to your business, put in a few hours work, be able to come home, say hi real quick at lunch, go back to the office, work out, go to the gym, and be home by 5:30 for supper time and rinse and repeat, right? So that was the short version of my life that I wanted to live. I wanted to see my family more. I was working 60 hours a week, and I didn't eat dinner with my family, and I wanted to wake up and see them and not rush out the door and eat dinner with them at 5:30 and be in complete control. So I designed my lifestyle. Then I go, okay, can I achieve this lifestyle in my current position? No. Okay. So therefore I can't do that. Therefore I want to work towards my designed lifestyle with all the effort I had, right? Eric Thomas, right? He's a motivational speaker, fantastic, fantastic guy. He says, figure out what you want. And these are really simple statements. The older I get, and I'm 39, going to turn 40 this year. Um, and I know it's hard to believe with all the gray, it's not the year, it's the miles, but, uh, I'm going to have one of you here coming up soon, but, figure out what you want in life. It's a very simple statement. Write it down on a piece of paper, get with your spouse, whoever your pastors, whoever you need to figure out what you want and focus and go after that with everything that you can, right? And so that's what I did. I said, my dream life can't happen here. I need a vehicle to go make it happen over here. And, God provided an opportunity to start this business, fast forward, in a simple statement. And we did, and we started on the side, and it got up and running a lot quicker than I anticipated. And honestly, I hung on to my current job a lot longer than I should have. But it just got silly. It just got silly so fast. I was like, okay, we're well beyond our agreed upon numeric, factors that would allow me to go.
Yeah.
And I did. So we had a plan. I knew what I wanted. I went after it. And inside of that, the important thing is that I was willing to forsake then everything that I knew. Like, I knew the collateral damage. I sat down and I wrote down, okay, well, this means that I give up this fancy title. Okay. So then this means that if I choose this, all my friends are going to think that I'm the biggest idiot on planet Earth because I'm in line to the throne of this big thing. And
wow.
I'm giving up, my day-to-day operations position in this company that's going to ultimately jeopardize whether I ultimately am in line to this big, beautiful thing or not. And so I had to sit down and go, okay, I'm okay with that. And I know that that's coming, and I can be prepared for that and not surprised when it happens. And that is the trade-off. I was willing to trade those feelings for the feelings of being in control.
Thank you so much for checking out this clip. Stay tuned so that you can make sure that you grab the full episode when it is released, coming soon. Subscribe, like, and share today.